Hello, good day again, class. So today I'm going to discuss lesson number 6. So before that, I'm going to read the learning outcomes. So number 1, we're going to articulate the symbols for the sounds of ses and sis. So we're talking about here the left ses and the right ses. All right. And then of course we're going to articulate the symbols for the word beginning super, sub, and self. And of course the word ending self and selves, and then of course articulating the symbols for word beginning x, and then the of course stopping also the sound of x, and another set of brief forms and phrases, and on how are we going to differentiate between advice and personal. All right, so let's proceed with the lesson proper. So the sounds of ses and sis is represented by a joined, or actually a two form of s, right? So we have the left ses, which is of course starts from the right, no, is and like that. So the left and the right s. So in terms of the right ses, no, we are going to start it with the right s plus the left s. All right. So these are the two forms of s, or the ses blend. Okay. So how are we going to write it? Let's have an example. We have the word analysis. We have the and hold on, n l, and then sis. We have the analysis. So most probably we have used the right, or the left s, or the left ses rather, no. So let's have the word assist. Assist t for assist. Again, assist t for assist. Let me write it again. Assist t for assist. So that's the time we have used the, again, a left ses blend. All right. Let's have the word basis. Basis. We have the sis for basis. Sis for basis. Again, we've used the left ses blend. All right. Let's have the word increases. We have the in not, KRE ses symbol. Again, in, KRE ses for increases. Necessary. We have the N, E sis RE for necessary. Let me write it again. N, E sis RE for necessary. Let me write it again, class. Let me move this. N, E sis RE for necessary. Let's have the word prices. We have the PRI. Hold on. We have the PRI sis for prices. Let me write it again. PRI sis for prices. Okay. So let's move on to the word beginning super. So the word beginning super is represented by a disjoined S. So this is actually a disjoined S. So meaning it is not going to be combined with the succeeding symbol if we're going to write it. So let's have the word superb. So most probably we have the disjoined right S, and then the B for superb again, super, and B for superb. Word beginning super, and then B, superb. Superior, we have the right S plus R for superior, right S plus R for superior. Let's have the word supervise. We have the word beginning super, VIS. Hold on. Let me correct it, class. Super, then VIS for supervise. Let me write it again. Super, VIS for the word beginning super, and then we have the word supervise. All right. So let's have the word beginning sub. So in terms of the word beginning sub, this time it is actually a joined S again. So most probably it could be a right or left S. So let's have the word submit. No, we have the word beginning sub, MET for submit. Let me write it again. Sub, MET for submit. Sub, MET for submit. How about the word subscribe? Of course, this is not actually a joined or a two form of S, ha. This is a Right S, another right S for KRIB for subscribe. All right, let me write it again. Right S and then a right S KRIB for subscribe. Okay, that is not a two form of S or ses blend. All right, so let's have the word subscription. Of course, you just simply put another S after the B. Or sorry, we are talking about subscription. Sub SKRIP Sean for subscription. So that is how are you going to write the word subscription. Okay, let's move on to the word beginning self and the word ending self. All right, so let's have the word self address. So it is represented by a disjoined S. So most probably it's written like this. So let's have the word self address. We have the left S and then ADREST for self addressed. So as you could know, as you know, no, we're talking about here a hyphen. So we are separating here the most probably as a prefix, no, the prefix is the self, no, we have several usage of hyphen. Okay, so later on we're going to discuss or top some of the rulings for you to be able to be familiarized of those rulings. All right, so let's continue. Let's have the word self assured. We have the self ish uerd for self assured. Let me write it again. Self ish earth for self-assured. How about selfish? As simple as this. We have the self and then the ish symbol. Self and then the ish symbol for the selfish. All right. So let's have the word ending um self. It is actually a joined S. So herself, we have the HER and then self, no? For herself, HER and then S for herself. How about the word itself? We have the it at and then self, it at and then self for itself. Himself, HEM and then self, HEM and then self. All right. So far, that is the word beginning self and then word ending selves. So let's move on to the word ending selves. When we say uh, the symbol or if you're talking about the word ending selves, no, it is represented by a joined ses symbol, ses symbol. So most probably just like this. Okay, so let's have the word ourselves, no, are and then selves. So we're talking about here the plural form, okay, of the personal pronouns. All right, themselves, we have the them and then selves or the ses symbol. Yourself simply as like this, your, tapos just like that. Your and then the ses blend for yourselves. All right, let's move on. The sounds of X. Most probably the sounds of X is represented by a slanted uh right and left S symbol. So most probably this is the S, right? That is the S symbol. Okay, but most if you're talking about the X, no, it is a slanted one. Just like that. All right, so let's have the word tax. Simple as this. Tax, tax, tax. As simple as that. So the S symbol is slanted or the left S symbol is slanted. Same with the taxes. Of course, we have the T, A, X, and then T, S symbol. Again, T, A, X, and then the symbol S for taxes. All right, box. We have the B, O, X. Again, B, O, X for box. All right. Okay, let's move on. Of course, let's proceed with the word beginning X. So the word beginning X is represented by a combination of E and the X symbol, or the slanting one, no? E and S, sorry, E and S, just like that. Let me write it again. So we have the E, S, and then the E S for uh to represent the sounds of, or the word beginning X. All right, extra. We have the E X T R, A for extra, X T R for extra, exact. We have the E A K T, exact, X A K T for exact, examine, X and then the min symbol for the word examine. Let's have the word expert. We have the X P R T for expert. Let me write it again. X P R T for expert. Expired. We have the X P I R ERD for expired. Let me write it again. X P I R ERD for expired. Excellent. We have the X E L E N T. Again, X E L E N T. Okay, for excellent. So far, that is lesson number 7. Then let's move on with some of the brief forms and phrases and derivative, of course. Let's have the word object. We have the O B K for object. Let me write it again. O B K for object, objected. We have the O B K and then D. Let me write it again. O B K D for objected. We have the word objective. We have the O B K and then V symbol for objective. O B K V for objective. Off. It's just simply O symbol. O F for office. 1 we have the UN. All right, we have the opinion. Of course, we just have O, P, and N. Opportunities, we have the OPR. Order, we have the OD. Ordered, OD plus jug, and then D for ordered. All right. So let's have the brief form phrases. We have the is in, is not. All right. Is the, it is, it OS for it was. It will be, it will be, it will not, it will not be, of our, O and R, of the, of the, of the, that the, over is, and then the. This is, of course, the this and is. Of course, we have the your order. We have the U and D symbol. Hold on. Let me write it again. This is, and then your order. So far, O and D symbol. So far, that is lesson number 7. So let us check some of the similar sounded words. Of course, we have the communication skill builder. We have the two words advice and advice, no? Spelled as ADVICE. We're talking about here a recommendation or information. But in terms of advice, no? We're talking about here to inform or to give counsel. So most probably we're talking about here an action word or a verb to be. All right. So number 1, we have the example, we did not receive sound advices. So most probably we're talking about here the, or advice rather, we're talking about here the a recommendation or information. So we're talking about here the advice, which is spelled as ADVICE. All right. The next one, the next example, we have Mr. Adams will advise us of the stop changes. So most probably they we're talking about is informing or to inform. So we are talking about here the spelled out ADVISE. Okay. Let's move on. Let's proceed with the personal and personnel. Okay, when we say when we are talking about personal, we are talking about here a belonging to a person, or it is actually a private one. Then in terms of personnel, we're talking about here a staff or a member. So most probably, if we're talking about example number one, we need to discuss a personal matter. So most probably we're talking about here the personal, no, with a single N and with an A. And then I receive the personal report. So most probably we're talking about here a staff or a report of the staff, no? So we're talking about here the PERSONNEL for the personnel. So far, that is lesson number 7. See you again for lesson number 8. Goodbye.